when we talk about the issue of unity, I believe this is a very broad topic. Maybe one day we'll discuss it in a lot more detail. Unity is of different degrees. You might not necessarily ever come to unify people's aqaid, their beliefs. And I don't think that will ever happen, right? The scholars have been debating about the differences amongst the different Aqeedah groups for the better part of 1400 years, right? And they are important discussions, very, very important. Issues on usul and so on and so forth. However, my brothers and my sisters, I don't think these discussions are ever going to come to an end. And they're going to continue, right? However, as minority Muslims, and I've seen all of the mashayikh say this, and this is the key word, common issues. Al-qadaya al-mushtaraka. Yani the hijab is about to get banned, and you're not going to come together with your Muslim brother, irrespective of your aqeedah, right? You have to. That honestly really, really triggered me. When I heard that, I said, what are you guys thinking, yani? Like whether it is that which relates to LGBTQ, مثلا, whether it is issues that relate to Palestine, مثلا, whether it is issues related to hijab, niqab, the Muslims have to come together.
Halal meat.
Halal meat. These are common issues. All of the mashayikh, whether it is Sheikh bin Baz and Sheikh bin Uthaymeen, Sheikh Albani. I'm mentioning these mashayikh because sometimes it's brothers who follow these mashayikh that have a problem in understanding this issue. I've never ever said that people have to let go of what they believe to be correct. Aslan ma yujuz hada. If you believe something to be correct, I'm just going to let go of it or compromise that? Absolutely not. Like we even had this in the UK. I said this to them in Germany. You had brothers who are Salafi, Diyobandi, Ash'ari, right? And other groups, right? Majority groups in the UK come together when the whole LGBTQ thing was happening. Each one of them is teaching what they believe in terms of aqaid in their masajid. And they had to sit in meetings because the disbeliever, he wants to see a unified stance of Muslims on this particular issue. Imams of different masajid have to come together in order to deal with this.
You said that disbeliever wants to see this.
Yes. No, the disbeliever is telling, like, I need all the imams to come together and discuss this particular matter, right? And they have to sit together on the same table. إيش المانع؟ هذا لا بد منه. There has to be that. And there's many, many evidences that talk about this. I remember even recently when I sat with Sheikh Abdulaziz al-Rajihi and Sheikh Hassan ibn Muhammad al-Sheikh, or Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Sheikh. It was in the tent that I visited in the in Hajj. It's one of the discussions that came up. They were like, you have to come together. Now, sometimes I already know the answer. Like, I just wanted to see what some of the mashayikh who have huge positions in different localities. When I visit different countries, I like to sit with different mashayikh of different ethnicities to kind of get their take. So later on when I discuss it, I can see, look, this is something that is agreed upon across the spectrum. I've already done a lot of bahth on it. And I've seen the fatwa of the ulama, the major scholars of different persuasions, different leanings. They all say the same. لا بد منه as minority Muslims. Right? So we have to be mature enough to come together on these issues that are commonalities amongst Muslims and try to fight for our rights. Right? Common issues. This is the key word, my brothers and my sisters. أنا أدرس ما أعتقد صحيح. What I believe to be correct, I'm going to teach it. But I have to be mature enough when it comes to issues that we as Muslims are all suffering and dealing with, right? We have to come together. Like, akhi, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow when push comes to shove and craziness hits the fan and bombs are raining down, right? And then it becomes an issue like we have today with our Palestinian brothers and sisters who are up against the Zionist entity. Now imagine all the Muslims. Well, what do you think they're going to be doing? They're going to start fighting now over, this is my belief and that's your belief. Habib, this is a common issue now. Yeah. There has to be a level of coming together on this particular matter, even if everyone doesn't necessarily believe the exact same thing. Does that make sense?
No, I think, especially Sheikh, in parts of Europe, you see how Islam is being torn apart. And it's literally, I believe in Norway we were saying, or someone was telling us that part of the campaigning strategy of certain parties is how Islamophobic you can be to appeal to the masses.
in order to win the elections.
in order to win the elections. And then someone comes and says, no, I don't want to look eye to eye with a Muslim brother and discuss an issue that is impacting us. Again, in Norway, people are saying, trying to establish a Muslim kindergarten or school is a very difficult task. But without sort of coming together to tackle that, it's never going to happen.
Habibi, that Islamophobe doesn't necessarily care whether you're Salafi or you're Ash'ari, or whether you're part of this group or that group. He doesn't care. Likewise, when we had the whole LGBTQ thing, Habibi, everyone's children is getting affected. Irrespective of whether you're a Salafi or a Ash'ari or a Maturidi or you're a Diyobandi or you're this or you're that. These are issues that every Muslim has to be worried about.
Yeah.
Even if they're never going to agree. And I'm not saying, let me make that very, very clear, that these discussions aren't important. They are important. But I have to be mature enough to realize when I draw the line of when the Muslims have to come together in these minority states that we are living in and deal with these issues head first.